When I returned to Willowcrest, the driveway on Redwood Lane was empty. The nameplate that once carried my name, Adrian Mercer, was gone. Just two small holes left on the gate where it used to hang. Evelyn Mercer, my mother, stood on the porch, forcing a smile, and my sister, Vanessa Mercer, leaned against her shiny new white car like she was posing for a commercial. "You're back early," Evelyn said. I didn't respond right away. I was looking past them. The curtains inside weren't the ones I chose, and the walls? New paint? That's not the color I used, I said quietly. Vanessa twirled her car keys and smirked. "Bad news, genius. You don't live here anymore." I didn't argue. I just scanned the place slowly. They started laughing like they'd been saving this moment, waiting to throw it in my face. Evelyn's smile turned sharper. "We sold the house. Needed the money to cover your sister's debts. You were gone too long." I nodded. "And you didn't think you should ask me first?" Vanessa scoffed. "Ask you? You're the one who always talks about how family comes first, so we followed your advice." They watched me closely, expecting me to break, maybe yell, maybe cry. Instead, I smiled, a small, calm smile. Vanessa's eyebrows pulled together. "What's so funny?" I glanced up at the balcony, the same one where I'd sit as a kid, watching my father, Andrew Mercer, leave for work. "Nothing. Just noticing how fitting all of this is." "Fitting?" she shot back. "You're homeless now." "Maybe. But tell me something. When did you finalize the sale?" "Last week," Evelyn said proudly. "Got a great price, too. Cash in hand. The buyer's name was—" "I know. I recommended him." Their laughter stopped instantly. Because the truth didn't start today. It began 6 months ago, during the last dinner we all had together. Vanessa had been crying again, another round of bad choices, bad investments, and bad company. Evelyn called her a victim. I called her irresponsible. I paid off her debt one final time, and I promised myself I wouldn't do it again. But about a month later, I noticed strange activity in my property documents. Access logs, bank records. Evelyn's name started appearing in places she had no permission to touch. At first I thought I was imagining things. Then I found an unsigned letter from my lawyer about a power of attorney supposedly filed under my name with a forged signature. That's when something inside me shut off. I didn't confront them. I watched, quietly, patiently. Weeks became months. I learned who they met with, what they whispered, and how confident they were that I would stay blind. That's the thing about family. Once they're sure you'll always forgive them, they don't even bother hiding what they're doing. So I made my moves silently. I moved the real property deed into my holding company, Apex Land Holdings, under a different name. Their forged paperwork looked convincing on the surface, but I adjusted everything so the fake documents lined up with a decoy title. The house stayed mine on the real records. What they had access to was an outdated registration, one I replaced after the renovations. The actual deed, the one that mattered, belonged to another property entirely, built on the adjoining plot I had purchased a year earlier through a development company with a nearly identical address. I made sure their forgery matched that useless title. So while they believed they were selling my home, all they sold was an empty legal shell, a piece of land my company already owned. My vacation wasn't a break. It was a waiting period. I wanted them to finish the scam, so every step they took was recorded. I wanted proof, real proof of forged signatures, a fraudulent sale, and tax issues that couldn't be ignored. When they mocked me today, I wasn't hurt. I was waiting for the moment they would ask the wrong question. "You recommended the buyer?"
Evelyn asked finally, her voice shaking. Yes. I pulled a folded set of papers from my coat, official documents stamped with Apex Landholding seal. Vanessa let out a nervous laugh. You're bluffing! I handed her the papers. Read. She scanned the first page, and the color drained from her face. This says the title was moved 2 years ago? Exactly, I finished. The home you sold wasn't mine. It wasn't anyone's in the way you thought. The sale you made is classified as fraud. The buyer works for me, Victor Lang. The money you took is flagged for investigation. Evelyn's voice trembled. You wouldn't do this to us. I'm not, I said, my voice cold. The law will. They stood frozen. I stepped closer. You forged my signature. You stole what you thought was my home. You mocked me to my face, and you expected me to come back and grovel. I took out my phone and pressed play. Their own voices echoed in the air, recorded 1 week ago. He'll lose everything. Let him cry. Vanessa's eyes widened in shock. You recorded us? Silence settled around us. I filed everything this morning. Forgery, fraud, financial misconduct. And before you accuse me of revenge, this isn't about payback. It's about making sure the next person you try to use sees exactly who you are. You can't send your own family to jail, whispered Evelyn. I looked at what used to be my home, then back at her. You already did. By evening, the police arrived. I didn't watch them get taken away. I didn't need to. My real house, my actual home, waited behind the next gate. Same layout, same balcony, everything untouched. I unlocked the door and stepped inside, breathing in the quiet. I wasn't smiling anymore. I didn't have to.